Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Wowhead Weekly, episode 38. We have a lot to talk about today, more on 6.2 reputations, Hellfire Citadel, updates to Ashran coming with the patch, what's new on Wowhead, the Heroes of the Storm launch, and so much more. But before we get into that, let me introduce my lovely co-host, Wowhead site manager, Perculia.
Hey everyone! Like Panzer said, I'm really happy we don't just have 6.2 news to talk about today. So let's just dive right in and get the PTR stuff out of the way so we can talk about all the varied things going on this
all
week
the fun stuff. But we do have to get the 6.2 stuff out of the way first. Of course, last week we talked a lot about the 6.2 reputations, and some of the reputations have been tweaked. Like, for instance, this new mount, the Death Tusk Fellbore, is for hitting Exalted with Vulgins, Headhunters, or Hand of the Prophet, and those are the two reps that it's basically the same rep, but one is Horde and one is Alliance.
So, the Saber Stalkers now have two mounts. You get the Wild Gore-Tusk at Honored, which is a black boar, and you get the Bristling Hellboar at Exalted, which is the red boar we previewed last week. And you might be thinking, hey, that red boar sounds similar, and they used to have it associated with a different faction, but it's gotten flipped around. So that's pretty cool. As we mentioned last week, the Saber Stalkers are a faction where you kill a bunch of elites in the southern part of Tanan Jungle, and you loot these special claws, and you turn the claws in to buy these mounts. So it's sort of like Emperor Xiaohao in Mr. Pandaria.
This is the Corrupted Dreadwing. Check out that bad boy. And he is the Apexis Sync mount that we've been talking about, and he now requires Friendly with the Order of the Awakened.
Yeah, so you get Apexis crystals as a reward for doing the daily quest. The daily quests send you around to loot treasures or kill rare spawns to get these special purified Apexis crystals. So, you know, when you're starting off doing the rep grind, you have all these, treasures you can loot, but as time goes on, you have to really focus and kill those rares because you've already looted all the treasures. As usual, it's the PTR, it's subject to change. We are actually getting a PTR build later tonight, but hopefully it won't be too big, but stuff could always be tweaked.
Absolutely. And then last week we talked a little bit about the Seeking Crystals, which was an item that would teleport you to rares, and we did find out this week that those will now require Honored for the lower one and Revered for the higher one with the Order of the Awakened. And then last but not least, the Saber Stalkers and the Order of the Awakened both have tabards, and we got 3D models for those this week. The one you're seeing right now is the Saber Stalkers. Obviously, it's got a big saber on it. And this is shown in the dressing room on my Pandarin. And then this is the Order of the Awakened tabard, which I love.
Oh, that looks so good with yours because your gloves have the orange and the purple, and the tabard has the purple. I really like that.
I know. It wasn't planned. My panda woke up like that. And then you want to talk a little bit about the gear updates that we saw this week?
Yeah, more technical news. We've had a lot of tweaks to Tier 18 set bonuses, as well as all of the trinket procs, so you can test them out on the PTR to see what they're like, or you can just hop over onto our PTR database and visit the Hellfire Citadel page and see what the latest stats are. So, if you were really interested in the Archimon trinkets, for example, and you thought some trinkets with passive stats were not as good or seemed kind of boring, the numbers have been tweaked around to make all the trinkets sort of equally appealing. And again, stuff subject to change. If you don't like it, do the math and write a post on the PTR forums.
You did a whole thing on Hellfire Citadel this week, the big preview of it, correct?
Yeah, I am totally happy to talk about that a little bit more because, it's 6.2 getting closer. We've been doing a lot of preparation, getting our guides really polished for all the big content, and Hellfire Citadel is a major part of 6.2. So, Blizzard wrote a preview of Hellfire Citadel talking about all the bosses, and we supplemented that with information we had. We have a big preview of our own up with information on the loot, the rewards, the special transmog sets that are there, what you have to do for the legendary quest line. But we also this week got some of the initial guides up for the first 3 bosses for the Hellbreach Wing. And if you've ever read any other Warlords raid guide on Wowhead, like Heimal, Foundry, any of the dungeon guides and the time walking guides, they're authored by the same player, Diani, so they're, really detailed, but they also give you an overview at the top of what's the essential things for the fight, and if you need more tips for, tanking or healing, it goes into more detail, and there's pictures of all the scary abilities so you know what to look for.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, we're really happy that, the timing of that worked out well. But we did learn something new in Blizzard's preview. It's that the item level for LFR is item level 650. So that's not too bad, and we've been talking about how Tanan has lots of, rare spawns that drop loots that's 655, or you just loot a treasure for gear that's 650, so that shouldn't be too hard to get, even if you're fairly new.
So it's not the loot that drops at 650, it's the required item level to get into
Exactly.
LFR? Yeah, that makes sense, because Blackrock Foundry is 635.
Yeah.
So
and the
that's
loot
not
from
surprising.
LFR is like 675 to 685 in Hellfire LFR.
Wow.
So pretty nice reward.
Not bad at all. And
Yeah.
if you want more information about any of this, of course, you can check out the Wowhead Zone preview for more information on all the loot and stuff like that. Wowhead's pretty easy to navigate. You can pretty much go in the search bar and it'll come up with whatever you're looking for.
Yep.
We also learned some more about the Ashran and the PvP updates that are coming in 6.2. And I haven't done a lot of Ashran. Just admittedly, I have not done much PvP this expansion. But a big change coming in 6.2 is that the faction bosses do not reward conquest points. The new way to get conquest points is through weekly quests. And it's like get 200 honor, kill an enemy boss, and win 5 events. Are those 3 separate quests?
Yeah, like the 2 honor kill, that'd be kind of intense if they were the same one. But I believe there's 3 daily quests, and like one is the 200 honor kills, and the other one is you don't just kill the enemy boss, you have to do some events associated with it, and I think that's repeatable as well. So, they're trying to change it up a little bit, so, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and then there's also a new underground arena. Now, is this like actually like an arena fight, or is that part of the Ashran battle?
It's part of the Ashran battle. The area is called the Ashran Excavation, and it's just another sort of event going on down there. It looks kind of cool. It has this sort of ghostly Apexis area, and you kill ghosts, and you get marks, and then you turn in the marks to this friendly NPC underground, and whoever turns in 51st wins that little area.
Gotcha, that makes sense. And then there's also some super cool PvP titles coming up. There is Soldier of the Alliance or Soldier of the Horde, and that's for ending the PvP season in the top 35% of the rated Battleground ladder. You'll get Defender of the Alliance or Defender of the Horde for ending the PvP season in the top 10% of your rated Battleground ladder. And the best one by far is Guardian of the Alliance, Guardian of the Horde for ending the PvP season in the top 3% of the rated Battleground ladder. And I feel like every Guardian Druid ever is going to want that title. How could they not?
Yeah, I think the titles are pretty cool. I like how they're trying to add more things to participate in rated battlegrounds that's not just for the, super elite players that are in the top percentage.
Yeah.
It's like if you just are casually doing them, top 35 isn't super bad to get. And
no.
I think that's pretty nice.
That's super nice. And there's also some really cool mounts coming with the PvP in 6.2 as well. There's the Vicious War Mechano Strider, which is like that Nomi robot chicken kind of mount. And then there is the War Kodo coming for the Horde, which was super cool. I wish I'd grabbed models of these. I didn't even think of it. But definitely go check them out on Wowhead. The 3D models are super impressive. And you can also bring them up in the dressing room and see what your character will actually look on them. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're reminiscent of your basic faction mounts, but they have tons of extra doodads on them.
They're
so
better.
They're not just, like reskins or recolors.
Many
they have
doodads.
some, really cool attention to it. So we talked a little bit about the Hellfire Citadel guides that Diani put up, but we also today got some 6.2 reputation guides up on the site, so you can see all the rewards, you can see all the 3D models for the 4 new factions, and we've also been doing some work to tell you how you actually get that reputation on the PTR. So definitely check out those guides if you want to see, which faction has a cool mount or which faction is the one that makes you do daily quests versus kill a bunch of mobs. So that is all really exciting. We've also been doing some improvements to our tools. The character planner, which you can find just right on the front page on the navigation bar where it says planner. It now has a section where it recommends followers for important missions. So, for example, if you're working on the Abrogator Stone part of the Legendary questline, it will show you which followers are the best for those missions. And if you are finished with that part, it will not bring up those missions and those followers because that's, not important for you. So that's pretty cool. And it's also like, High Mall mission recommendations, Foundry mission recommendations. There's Vanity, the missions for like the cool mount and pet are going to be added in 6.2. So that's pretty cool. But I know a lot of people have tons of questions about the dressing room. We got so much feedback on that last week because we tied the giveaway to it. So, people would link their set, but also ask for a new feature or, they find a little bug. We tried to address a ton of them this past week. So, what the biggest thing is that mounts are now saved in the dressing room URL. So, before, if you were linking it to your friends, you wouldn't see the mount, but now that mount is saved and you can share it. So that's pretty cool.
You guys got on that really quick.
Yeah, like that was like everyone was like, "You need to put this in," and I'm like, "Okay, we got it. We'll prioritize that." And we've also added some things where you can link your dressing room appearance in game now. And we've added the code string so you can export your appearance to Mogget, which I know a lot of people use, and there's been a few other tweaks,
how do you
strange
do
model
that?
Things. So if you open up the dressing room tool, I am opening this up as we speak so I don't mess it up. So you'll see that where you could change your appearances and save your character, there's a few more options listed there.
Okay.
So you'll see like this X for remove current gear, and that's to make your character naked really quickly because it's annoying taking gear off one by one.
Yeah.
And then underneath that, you'll see something that says links. And if you open that up, there's a little window, and the first link is called Dressing Room, and that's the thing you can link to your friends that will show you on the mount.
Okay.
The second link is called Item Comparison, and that's what Mogget uses. That's sort of like the old school way of showing gear sets on Wowhead.
Yeah.
And then the third one is the in-game link, and if you look at the code, it looks kind of scary, but just, click on that, copy, paste it, stick it in game, and you'll see your character with that appearance in the in-game dressing room.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I'm really happy that we're just, you guys really like the tool, and we are doing more stuff to make it awesome for you.
Yeah, that's super. That was a really cool feature to add. It's especially cool how much of it can be brought into game and to share with your friends and to be able to integrate it into Mogget and stuff. It's just all very mindful and thoughtful of how people would really want to use it in practice and not just, something that was thrown out and not thought about. I think it's neat. I like
Yeah,
transmog.
I mean, so much of us on Wowhead love transmog. Like, my first big project on Wowhead was coding up all those transmog sets, so I really like making the transmog sets and their features really good on Wowhead, and I like fashion, so it's a good thing.
Absolutely. We're done with 6.2 stuff, and we're done with Wowhead news. Super exciting. We get to talk about Heroes of the Storm now, and I have been playing a ton of Heroes of the Storm. I've been playing it a lot. I started playing Heroes of the Storm in Alpha. I have been max level every single time they've wiped. I'm in ranked now, and I'm super excited because the game finally launched on June 2nd, and there's all sorts of really cool cross-promotional rewards. This one is the Ironside Direwolf. You get this mount in Heroes of the Storm for having a level 100 in WoW. Like every other pretty much mount in the game, there are 3 different tints which you can unlock as you level up. And what's super cool is that you don't actually have to be actively subscribed to World of Warcraft to get this. So as long as you have a level 100 on your account, even if you're not paying currently for a subscription, you will still get the mount in Heroes of the Storm, which is really nice. The next reward is Graves, and he's so cute. He's an in-game pet in World of Warcraft based on the Grave Golem from the Haunted Mines, and he reacts to cheer and talk and roar and dance. He is a reward for hitting player level 20 in Heroes of the Storm. Once you hit 20, he'll be mailed to you in WoW. If you were already 20, all you have to do is log into Heroes, and then he'll be mailed to you in WoW. And then the final reward is the Hearthstone card back. This is rewarded for hitting player level 12. So you're probably wondering how long leveling takes. And I talked to a couple people on my Twitter because I didn't want to just throw out a number. And I think what we've decided is that you could probably hit level 12 in about a weekend. And that's not playing like, you could probably hit level 12 in one day if you were real dedicated. But I think a casual player could hit 12 in about a weekend. And I think that you could hit 20 in under 2 weeks. There are a bunch of experience boosts that you can get. If you play with a friend or with friends, you'll get a 50% experience boost. You can also buy a stim pack, which will increase your experience per match by 100%. I believe it also increases your gold gained by 150%.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you will get one of those for free at level 10, and you can buy them on like a weekly and monthly basis. It's a better deal to get the monthly one, obviously. And then there's also currently an XP boost in the game to like celebrate the launch. So until June 9th, you'll get 25% experience just all around. And the way the experience bonuses stack is additively. So if you have the 50% friend bonus and then the 25% event bonus, you will get 75% additional XP total. And then if you are afraid to play with other people, if you're not quite there yet where you feel comfortable, there is training mode, and then there's also AI mode. When you play against AI, you can choose to have AI on your team, so it's just you and 9 computer guys, and you're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. Or you can also choose to play with yourself and then also 4 other people against computers, so you're pretty likely to win in that case. And you will still get your experience, and you can level up off of those AI matches. It just is capped daily. But I'm pretty excited about it.
I know, you sound so excited about the, I loved your videos, how Graves is, emoting and reacting to you, and I love how he has the backstory,
He's
how,
so cute.
He's not just from the haunted mines, he's the product of a team going down into the haunted mines, and they only get one, pathetic skull, so he's a very weak golem, and he doesn't do anything in the Nexus, so he just wanders off from heroes into WoW and becomes a battle pet.
So
I think that's
cute.
Cool.
He's the cutest little guy. I can't wait I haven't started leveling him in battles yet, but I do actually do a considerable amount of pet battling. I think I have 75 level 25 pets, and I'm definitely going to level him up. I might use, when they add the bonus events in the game, I might use one of the stones to just insta 25 him, because I bet he's going to be pretty good. Usually the pets that have unique models also have pretty good moves and abilities, so I'm excited. And he's just super cute anyways. I love his little dance. He's the best. Yeah,
I also really like the mount you get for hitting level 100. It would be, I know some people are tired of wolf mounts, but I've heard a lot of people saying that it would be really cool if that mount was actually in WoW.
Yeah, it would be cool if it was in WoW, just because you would have matching. But there was a wolf that was available in Heroes of Storm, but it was for a limited amount of time.
Right.
So if you didn't get it, you couldn't get it. So it's nice that they added this incentive in, and not everybody plays WoW. So it's still kind of a thing that not everybody has, and it's a special thing, and I like it. It's almost like a collector's edition thing, only you didn't have to buy anything.
Yeah, I mean, if for any reason, if people are watching this and they primarily play heroes and they're not level 100 in WoW, we talk a lot about max level things you can do on Wowhead, but we also have leveling guides and tools that help you as you're leveling up, gear at lower levels, or things you can do at level 60 or 70.
It's weird because I've been playing this game for 8 years and I've leveled so many characters from level 1, but part of me is a little bit envious of new players coming into WoW right now, because the whole I leveled before the world was revamped. So there's all this everything's so brand new, and there's so much to do, and there's so many things that you could do, and I don't know, it must be so exciting.
Yeah, I think that might be a fun experiment to just start a new character over and see how that would go. If you have heirlooms, or
especially if you did the opposite
things.
Faction, because I've dabbled in leveling Alliance, but it's usually to try to play with friends, so I just dungeon grind, and it's not the same thing. But maybe one of these days I'll have to do the Iron Man challenge on the Alliance side, because it would be like a new game.
Yeah, I have a level 80 Horde, but I leveled her something 5 years ago.
Oh my God.
I'm not very familiar with her.
It's been a while. It has been a while. It's funny because this is a good segue. I actually cheated this week. One of my servers was offering free faction changes a while back, so I faction changed all the characters on that server, because who cares? So for the selfie scavenger hunt this week, I totally got on my one Alliance character to do it, because the first week was obviously in Orgrimmar. The second week you had to fall from the skies of Dalaran. The third week is right in front of the castle in Stormwind, and this is my shot from this week if you guys want to see it. Oh yeah, look at her. That's a level 39 hunter right there that you're looking at. She'll mess you up with her arrows.
So, obviously, because that is an Alliance character, she's not being attacked by the guards. But in Blizzard's selfie screenshot, I believe the guards are in the background, and they look pretty angry because, you've got the enemy faction, right outside where the king is. Yeah.
What's weird about that, though, is that Blizzard has been tweeting out, like, a couple of the winners each week, and, like, it doesn't seem to matter if you're Hoarder Alliance. It doesn't seem to matter if your clothes are, like, they always show them naked, but, like, a few of the winners have been clothed. It seems to matter more about the angle of your screenshot, or I don't know, maybe it's chosen randomly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they just want people to get into the spirit of it. If someone's gonna fall to their death from the Dalaran, more power to them. Let's just pick it from that pool of winners versus the person that had the right lighting and was naked and the right rays. Like, I think that people might be scared off if there were too many.
Yeah, which I like. I like that it's just supposed to be fun. And it's funny because, like I said, I don't play a lot of Alliance. So when I got on today, I got right in trade chat and I'm like, where's the selfie scavenger hunt this week? Because I don't know Stormwind. And like the 3 people messaged me and were like, oh, it's over here and you have to stand facing north. And I was like, this is bringing people together, man. Like,
so why don't you tell the people that are not familiar with Stormwind where you have to go now that you know, in case other people are like.
So you don't. I went to the chapel at first because that's where I thought it was, but it's not the chapel. It's the castle, which I think is way off to the east, right?
Yeah, it's like the northeastern.
Yeah, and you'll see this like giant statue of a human guy, and you go up the stairs behind him, and you'll see 2 little trees, and there'll be like a runner up the middle of the stairs, and you just aim your camera so that you don't see the runner. It's actually very easy to find.
Yeah.
If I can find it, anyone can find it.
Yeah, so once again, the selfie scavenger hunt, even though it's called selfie, you do not need a selfie camera to enter, and so you don't need to be level 100, and every Monday, Blizzard has a new image that they want you to replicate. You just upload your screenshot to their site, and you can get all sorts of things like BattleNet cards or Blizzard Gear Store merchandise. We should actually talk about some of the new merchandise because I was excited about that.
You're wearing some of it.
Yeah. There's actually a WoW one that came out. But yeah, so we'll talk about that in a few minutes, like after the show. But yeah, you can even get BlizzCon tickets. There's nothing exclusive, all of it you can buy on the store or get tickets for. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know how many weeks it's going for, but yeah, I've had a lot of fun so far. I like the community angle to it, how you see people sort of lining up to take the picture or cheering each other on.
Dalaran was the best week by far because you'd see all these people like up on their flying mounts, like huddled in the air, just waiting for one of them to fall at a time. Like, it was the best thing, like just witnessing it. And I did it at like 4 a.m. I can't imagine what a normal time frame would have looked like. And I'm only on a medium population server, so I think this was like a really fun thing to do. And it didn't, I wish they would continue doing this every week. I would do it every week. I don't know why, but I would. Yeah. I would do it every week.
Yeah,
it's just
I'd be okay with that.
In other news, World of Warcraft is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What up? WoW was one of the 6 inaugural inductees for the Strong World Video Game Hall of Fame, along with Pong, Pac-Man, Tetris, Super Mario Brothers, and Doom, which is in really good company. Like, it's crazy to think that like Pac-Man wasn't already in this Hall of Fame. What?
Yeah. It's still the first year. I know some people are like, oh, why isn't Zelda there? And I think that they had 15 nominees and they picked 6 from that batch. So, maybe they'll keep doing 6 or something each year.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read the press release description?
Yeah, I'll flip over to you.
Cool. So this was what the museum it did as the explanation for why Warcraft was inducted. By bringing tens of millions of people together in a compelling virtual universe, World of Warcraft continues to reshape the way people think about their online lives and communities. In this massively multiplayer online role-playing game, players create unique virtual avatars to represent themselves as they explore an open, constantly evolving world. After its release by Blizzard Entertainment in 2004, World of Warcraft became the largest and best-selling MMORPG ever created. As of February 2015, the game boasted more than 10 million subscribers, only slightly reduced from its peak of 12 million in October 2010, with 100 million accounts created since the game's release.
That's insane. I really didn't know that 100 million accounts have been made since the game's release.
Yeah, I think
crazy.
It's really good to put in perspective, too. I mean, we may quabble about, little things here and there, but it's good to look back and recognize the huge scope the game has had, and 10 years of forming a community is really amazing in that way.
Absolutely. A while back I did a video that was like the history of World of Warcraft, and I did a lot of like examples of World of Warcraft like touching on the real world kind of thing, like times it was mentioned in television shows and commercials, and like the reach of a game like that is it's just crazy. It's just crazy because there wasn't a game before World of Warcraft that was as popular and as widely known, and you can pretty much say to anybody, I mean, I'll go get my hair done or something, and people be like, what do you do for a living? And I'll be like, I make videos about World of Warcraft, and like the hairdresser will be like, oh, I've heard of that game. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know, I just think it's really cool to see how widespread it really is and how many people it really has sucked into its grasp over.
Yeah. I mean, even we don't have any movie news this week, but that's just an example of how it keeps innovating and trying to make it be more mainstream and, draw in more people to know about sort of this culture and community.
I hope that maybe I'll go see the Midnight Show just so I can tell you on Wowhead Weekly next week if there was a preview or not. They're better.
Oh, right, because we were thinking it could be with Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I've heard it from a few different sources, like little birdies.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to go see Jurassic World anyways. Like, it wasn't, but I'm definitely... if there is a Warcraft movie trailer, I might die and then not even be able to see.
Oh
Jurassic
no, that would
World.
be bad for the show. You wouldn't be able to report on it. That would be very sad.
Also going on next weekend, aside from Jurassic World and possibly, the Warcraft movie trailer, is the new date for the 6.2 Q&A. It is Saturday, June 13th at 2 p.m. Pacific time. They had like a big Heroes of the Storm launch thing this weekend, and the times conflicted, so it got pushed back a little, and that's fine because that means more time to submit your questions, which you can do you'll see it right on the battle.net homepage. And what's super exciting about this is that Perk and I are going to be doing a special live show immediately following the Q&A, doing like an analysis and discussion of everything that we learned.
Yeah, we usually live vlog all of the Q&As, so we figured we'd take it an extra step, and you can read our sort of live vlog transcript as it's going on, but then you can also hear our thoughts, what do we think they covered, if they didn't really cover anything in, not anything, but if there's a topic that people have, some questions about, maybe we can answer it because we've been playing the 6.2 PTR a lot, and, we can link you some items they're talking about, or just give you, like, the sort of, extended version of what's going on, since we have so many guys for the PTR. But yeah, it's exciting. We can be like sports, like sports. We're like, wow, that play was super exciting.
Perk, did you see that play in the fourth quarter? It was really risky, and I think those risks paid off.
Exactly.
We're really excited about this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, so I hope that you guys, that'll mean 2 live streams from Wowhead next week, so I hope that you guys will join us because I think it's going to be an absolute blast. And wrapping up today's video, we grabbed some questions from YouTube and Wowhead, so if you would like us to answer a question, feel free to leave it in Twitch right now, and we'll see if we can get to a couple of them after we get to these, but I'm going to read the questions to you. How's that sound, Perk?
Yeah, I think that's good.
All right, so the first question is from YouTube, and it's from Mark, and he said, I believe I read somewhere that Blizzard usually works 2 to 3 expansions ahead. So when player feedback makes them rethink game changes, do you think it's already too late for the next expansion? How close to an expansion do you think they can actually make significant changes?
So, I think with the tech that they've been implementing, as they get more and more sophisticated, they can make changes faster than before. Yeah. So I think that they have, concepts for an expansion, and they start working on the art, for example, and doing research and maybe like overarching storylines, but nothing is really set in stone. And on the data side of things, seeing the PTR constantly change, or even the Warlords beta, there were some pretty sweeping changes going on, how like garrison followers were set up, or building perks, drastically changed over the course of the beta.
Yeah.
Things like class changes, like it's really easy to just, you have to research the numbers, but it's really easy to change the numbers. You can even hotfix them at points. So I think that they do take, feedback into account. They just need to start getting the ball rolling on the concepts for the expansions and have them figure out how they all fit together. And they have different teams of people working on the expansions. It's not like if some guy has to address 6.2 feedback, he's gonna not work on the next expansion. They have very different teams of people, so they can address the short-term feedback and also have that affect what they'll keep working towards in the long term.
Yeah, I think, I didn't even consider what a good question that was for you until you started saying with all your PTR stuff. I mean, because that's essentially like miniaturized versions of that. And even the PTR stuff from week to week changes pretty drastically. So I would have to agree that I think that I think the overall systems of things, like they knew garrisons was going to be a huge part of Warlords of Draenor, but even from what they announced garrisons were going to be to what garrisons are in live servers is not really much of the same thing at all. And that's not to say it's better or worse. It's just different. So I think that they can change things pretty drastically at any point. The next question we got is from Pumpkin Feast on Wowhead, and he or she asked, has anything new been data mined for this year's Midsummer Festival?
Yeah, and someone asked this last week in the comments, and I figured it was good just to answer it again because I'm sure a lot of people are curious about this because it's the next big holiday coming up. So there is a Burning Defender's Medallion, which you take on the guise of a fiery defender, and that will cost 500 burning blossoms from the Midsummer Merchant. And there is also the Cozy Bonfire, which increases the spirits of those nearby by 4 and allows cooking, and that will cost 350 blossoms.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of blossoms. But that's cool. One of them is a disguise toy, right?
Yeah, well, they are both toys, but of course the medallion is cooler than the fire. I'm sure the fire's cool. Maybe it will be, maybe we'll have some extra sparkles with it.
It's not as cool as the medallion.
Also, I don't need to get into it in super detail, but the Dark Moon Fair is starting on Sunday, so you'll hear more about those rewards in Downtime Tuesday, and I believe there's some new toys in that as well. So, if you like holidays, stick around for this upcoming week.
And then it looks like the main question that we're getting in chat is, do you have any speculation on when 6.2 might be coming out?
So my guess is, I don't think it's going to be in 2 weeks because we haven't gotten that official end of the season announcement yet. Okay. And that's usually a minimum of 2 weeks. But I don't think it's going to be in July, for example. So my guess is maybe, I want to say 2.5 weeks is when we'd be getting it. I'm also curious to see if this PTR build we're meant to get tonight is marked as a release candidate, because right now they're all marked as test, and when a PTR switches to release, that doesn't mean it's, oh my god, ready to go out the door right now.
Yeah,
but it means it's getting closer, we're not at that stage yet.
We might be.
Yeah, maybe in a few hours. Yeah, maybe in a few hours.
We might be. I would also have to guess around the 23rd. I've seen that number poked around. I'm not saying on the 23rd, but my guess would probably be sometime around the 23rd for a couple reasons. Number one, like you said, it's about 2.5, 3 weeks out. The 23rd does actually fall on a Tuesday, and I don't know if they're interested in competing with Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy's expansion comes out on the 23rd. So it'd be good timing.
Yeah, and also things like you have, Heroes of the Storm, it's getting its little time in the spotlight now, so they don't want WoW players to feel conflicted between the new patch and trying out a new game. And there's things like E3, and I'm sure Blizzard is busy doing stuff for that, so it seems to make sense that when those big events are over, they would want to get WoW out the door. Yeah,
the 23rd would be good as well because I know that on the West Coast schools get out earlier. Like I know some schools are already starting to get out, but in like the East Coast you normally get out towards the end of June. So it would work out really
I feel so old. I'm like, school, that was such a long time
I know. No, I'm with you. And normally when I talk about school, I'm talking about college, but honestly, like when you're in high school in the Northeast, I mean, you grew up around here. Yeah. That's about the time you would get out. So it would work out well on a lot of fronts. So my guess would be maybe the 23rd.
I'm going with the 23rd. If something horrible goes happen with the servers, maybe the 30th, but I'm leaning towards the 23rd.
That's our guess. And that is just a guess. That is not any...
Yeah, I don't have any special insider knowledge. No. I was really sad there was a PTR build tonight because I'm like, oh no, I just finished my reputation guides. Are they going to just change all the costs on me? This was bad timing, Alexis. Yeah, one more thing. If you can subscribe to Wowhead on Twitch.
You can. Yeah, and we have these really cool icons. Look, we have a little rocket, and then we also have Pepe. And the greatest thing about Pepe is that if you have Pepe, you can hurry up and put someone's face Well, I think someone ruined that for me. But you can put Pepe on someone's head. It's like the best thing ever. So if you like the show, if you would like to support the show, please make sure to subscribe or follow us so that you know when we go live. You can also subscribe to like Wowhead Premium, which is super nice because then you don't get any ads and you get a bunch of special features and your name is a special color and basically you just feel special overall.
Yep.
So on that note, we are going to take off. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and thank you once again for joining us and hopefully we'll see you next week. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.